proposing has always been part of my life informally. So my family had a piano. I had a little electric keyboard as a baby that I would tinker on, and I think I just did that for fun. Eventually learned how to notate music, wrote some ideas down, and it transgressed into something a little bit more formal. The first person who comes to mind would be Bill Tiberio, who directed the Wind Symphony at the University of Rochester, where I got my cognitive science degree. Right after graduating from high school, I started on my first piece for band, which was my first real piece. And I brought excerpts to Bill of this unfinished piece, and I said, hey, what do you think? And the first words out of Bill's mouth were, so when are we going to play this? I finished the piece, and then he said, you should really consider conducting this. And that was kind of my foray, my introduction into the world of both conducting and composition. So thank you, Bill. My dive into Holst probably started about 10 years ago. I took a class at Nazareth College where I did my music ed degree with Marjorie Roth called Music and Magic. And if I had to choose one impetus as to what got me interested in Holst and the planets and why Holst was writing the planets, it was probably that class got the wheels turning. I ended up doing a lot of research for fun, and eventually that research branched off into other areas of Holst's life and some other parts of his repertoire. But fast forward then to my doctorate at Eastman, I have to put on a doctoral lecture recital, and this was during the pandemic. We thought we were going to be going from chamber ensemble numbers back to large ensemble by the time that I had my recital, and then found out that was not the case. We would have to stick with smaller numbers. So the repertoire I generally had to throw out except for the Holst first suite. So I very quickly had to find another piece that I could lecture on that was somehow linked to Holst or his reasons for writing the first suite. And I had just started on this, passion project that used my research on the planets. So I ended up proposing that idea that I finish that piece and add to the recital, and voila, tarot. I don't know where the idea of tarot came to mind as a subject, a substitute for the planets. But I will say that the parallels between tarot and the planets in modern astrology are very strong. Both have to do with divination. There's mysticism, there's symbolism. There are these strong characters, and so it felt like a logical substitution. In terms of why the King of Cups for the second movement, I wanted to touch upon and make reference to each one of Holst's planets in this new suite, and had already picked out the Fool, which is the first card in the tarot deck, but also the first movement of my piece, and that utilized and referenced the planets Uranus and Jupiter. So as I was considering other cards, and I was thinking about Neptune as a planet, I thought the King of Cups would be a great match, because in tarot there are suits, 4 suits like there are in playing cards, and the suit of cups has to do with like water energy. And the King of Cups is then the master of this realm, and Neptune is the god of the sea. So it felt like that would be a direct link there. The King of Cups also was a good candidate for Venus because he is a very diplomatic and compassionate character, and Venus is a planet of harmony and love. So that matched up really well as well. huge thanks go out to UMKC, to Professor Davis for programming this. I am greatly looking forward to this performance, and hopefully this interview has been interesting and informative.